Are you trying to make some extra cash for next year? Well, then this video is for you. It's 2022 with inflation skyrocketing, crazy gas prices, everything just being so expensive, and the world coming to an end. I'm kidding. But we have finally realized that we need a side hustle in order to survive in this world. The ATM business is one of the most lucrative side hustles you can get into because it only requires a small amount of capital and can be easily ran. Not only that, but there's multiple ways to get into the business. So if you want to prepare for 2023 and you want to make an extra $200 to $1,000 per month, listen up. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my journey to becoming a millionaire. If you don't know me, my name is Chris Smo. I do $1 to $2 million in construction sales, got a 6-figure income, some passive investments, and I got nothing to sell you. You see, I make these videos so I can document my life towards becoming a millionaire so my grandchildren can know who I am, and hopefully this can inspire others to start their own journey. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining the 3 different ways you can get into the ATM business. It's already the end of September and the year's practically gone, so hopefully this video can give you some insights to start your own ATM journey by 2023. So let's get right into it. Being in the industry for over a year now, I've done all 3 methods myself, and I have been able to increase my fleet from 0 ATMs to 10 ATMs in just over a year now, and they bring in $1,500 a month in profits, which is ultimately not bad for a side hustle that I only work 1 to 2 hours a week. I am most utterly grateful to be a part of this industry because these profits actually allow me to save more money because they cover a majority of my expenses every month. And hopefully it can do the same for you. So let's start with the first method, the method that probably everyone knows about. This method is actually the easiest way to get started, and it doesn't really require much capital. So almost anyone can get started with this method. It's super easy. All you have to do is find a location, get it under contract, buy the ATM, and place it. And finally, you'll start collecting your cash. I mean, there's more steps than just all that. It is a little bit more complicated, but for the sakes of this video not being too long, I wanted to make it simple and easy for anyone to understand. Really, the hardest part about this method is just finding a location. A good location, really. Startup costs are not really that much. I mean, you can buy an ATM for $2,000 to $3,000, and depending on how many times you actually want to go to the physical location and put physical money into the ATMs, that's going to be your vaulting money, which I always suggest it be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. So all in all, you can get started with just as little as $5,000 bucks. This is just operating money that you need in order to run the business. I did method 1 a little later after getting into the business. You see, when I go service my ATMs, people see me. So ultimately, I got a referral from one of the stores that I was working with, and they were going to open up a new shop. I went to that shop, got it under contract, and now luckily, I got real lucky that this ATM is one of my best ATMs to date. That ATM brings me anywhere from $500 to $800 per month, just one machine. So I know this method works. Now for the second method, this method I actually learned when I was trying to grow my ATM fleets. There's 2 ways to actually grow your route. The first way is to do method 1 over and over and over again, or you can become what's known as a vaulter. These are people who don't own the ATM and don't own the location. All they do is put their own money into the machine and make sure that it's nice and clean every single time. The owner of that location then splits you off anywhere from 50 cents to $1.10 depending on the location. This is probably the easiest way to expand your route, but it does require some capital as well. Depending on how much time you want to invest into physically going into the ATM and putting money into it, that's really what's going to determine how much capital you really need. This is going to require some work on your part because most owners want to make sure that they can trust you, that they can trust that you know exactly what you're doing. That's why I always recommend you get one location before you start going down this route. The hardest part again is finding the location, or better yet, for this method, finding the business owner that wants to share a piece of his locations with you. Which you'll be surprised how many people actually would, just so they can keep expanding themselves. Now, I managed to do method number 2 by keeping a strong relationship with the guy who actually sold me my original ATM route. You see, he saw that I really wanted it and how much I wanted to work. He saw that I can be trusted and I work just as hard as him. So he gave me a piece of his locations and now I vault a couple of machines for him. And if it wasn't for the lack of capital right now, I'll probably be vaulting a lot more machines for him in the future. Which finally brings me to method number 3, which is actually the hardest method to get into the industry because it requires a lot of capital. I wouldn't suggest this method for anyone who doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't have somebody to help them, or is afraid to lose their initial investment. And what's crazy is that you still haven't hit the like button or the subscribe button, so please, it just takes a second. It does help me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. But on a serious note, what's really crazy is that this is actually how I got started. Yeah, I know, but I told you I did all 3, right? I actually did this method 2 times because it works and I have money. So let's break it down. Easy and simple. There are going to be times where people want out in this business. And that goes for any business whatsoever. So what business owners do when that time comes, instead of just shutting their doors, is that they sell. And you just gotta be out there looking and ready to buy. That's what I did. All you have to worry about here is doing your own due diligence correctly. Make sure the ATMs are profitable, make sure they're in good locations, and ultimately, most importantly, make sure that you can make your initial investment within 1 to 3 years. The shorter, the better. That's what I did. I found someone selling their route, I bought it, I got a deal on it, and now I'm just waiting for my return. Now, I know I made these 3 ways very simple. I did it that way so everyone can understand the ATM game. But let me give you some disclaimers. If you think you're gonna come into this industry and hit a home run with your first location, think again. Not all locations are profitable or worthwhile. So it's gonna take some time to get a good location. Or maybe you'll just get lucky. Also, no one gets rich with just 1 location. It's a numbers game. The more locations you get, the more money you make. Don't be taken advantage of from these gurus selling you the dream, making it seem like you're gonna make all this ton of money. No, the dream is hard work. Lastly, it takes money to make money. So if you're going into this industry with just $5,000, that might be your last $5,000. If something goes bad, you might be out your 5K. So with any investment, make sure that you already have a high occupation that pays you well so that you're not relying on this side hustle to pay all of your bills. Besides that, guys, hopefully this video helped you get some insights on the ATM industry. And if you're planning to getting into the industry in 2023, make sure you pay close attention to all the 3 ways you can get into the business itself. There's so many ways you can do this. Every single way is different for every one of you. It just depends on your situation and where you are in life. Just make sure you pay attention to all the things that can possibly go wrong. So if you enjoyed this video, got some value off of it, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll go ahead and see you guys next time.